Joining us now to talk about what all this means for the workplace of the athletes involved is Sonya Madison, workplace attorney based in Atlanta, Georgia. Hello, Sonya. How are you?
I'm good, Steve. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, let me ask you. Not that it's what I brought you on to talk about, but do you buy this? Making an analogy between Jason Collins and Jackie Robinson, or even Rosa Parks and Jason Collins?
Well, I understand why the analogy is being made in terms of wanting to put a face out there so that other people can become more comfortable, and so that also dealing with even the workplace, managers, the NBA, the NFL, could then also become comfortable having people of different diverse backgrounds on their team. So I understand the analogy. I haven't delved as deep into it to buy it or not, but I do understand why it's put out there in the way that it has been.
Well, I mean, it disappoints me. I mean, I'm not black. From your picture, you are, and so is Star Jones, and Thomas Roberts is not, but he's gay. And just, Jackie Robinson, who just, went through the horrors of injustice where, he got thrown at, he got hit in the head, his own teammates hated and cursed him. Everywhere he went, he was booed out of there. He couldn't travel with the team. He couldn't eat with the team. All the horrors that black Americans, African Americans went through at that time, he suffered, tenfold. And of course, Rosa Parks, taking a stand that got her arrested, that got her in trouble, and to cavalierly throw around, those names with this guy who has played his whole career, probably isn't going to play too much more. He's not a kid, and is well off. Said he doesn't, he doesn't. Financially, he's well off, and and he's not even with a team right now. He came out and said, I'm gay. Okay, to compare that to Jackie Robinson or Rosa Parks, to me, it's just to me it's appalling. But let's go to what you say these sports leagues are now going to have to do or should do. Or let's talk, since you're a lawyer, what you believe they're going to legally have to do in the wake of this announcement.
Well, legally, and depending on what state they're in, they're going to have to at least make sure they have policies in place and training materials in place. I call it evaluate or educate, evaluate, and enforce whatever the policies are concerning sexual orientation, discrimination, and the like. And if anything, as you even brought up earlier, to avoid dealing with the hardships that Jackie Robinson and Rosa Parks had to deal with, they better make sure both the NBA, the NFL, and even the union, because the union is going to be a huge asset in making sure harassment isn't taking place, is to ensure that they have the necessary tools in there, that athletes, the players, the coaches, the management are not discriminated against or harassing players for openly being either homosexual or expressive of their sexual orientation.
Well, what happens if Jason Collins doesn't get another job? He's 34. He averages 2 points a game throughout his career. He's a free agent. He has no team. What if he doesn't get signed? Is he free to now sue and say it's because I'm gay?
Well, unfortunately, any and everyone can sue. Now, does he have a claim? Federal does not protect sexual orientation discrimination. President Obama has tried. Unfortunately, the Congress hasn't passed it, so he's not protected under federal law. But what the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission has done, and that's the government agency responsible for enforcing employment discrimination, is interpret this whole gender identity discrimination as being violative of the sex discrimination part of Title VII. Now, I do think it would be difficult for him to try to come up with a case saying, well, this team didn't accept me because I came out as gay. I mean, he's going to have to do a lot to prove that that's what happened. But what problem that the team is going to have, and what I guess the world is waiting to see, is whether or not people are going to instantly presume that, oh, that's why people aren't accepting him, or coaches or teams aren't getting him. It's because he came out as gay. And I do think that could be a little bit unfair, but that is the reality that some of these teams are going to have to be faced with.
We're talking to Sonya Madison, a workplace attorney based in Atlanta, here on the Steve Malzberg Show. What about, I mean, this isn't just a workplace, any workplace. I mean, this is a workplace, and it would be the same in any sport, where the participants, the employees, if you will, shower together, walk around naked together, you know, that kind of thing. Certain teams that have two people sharing a hotel room together. I mean, do you see the need for special accommodations? What if some of the current employee, what if a current employee says, you know what? I'm uncomfortable showering with a guy who came out and made a point to say that he's attracted to men. I'm a man. I don't want to be showering next to this guy. Just like I wouldn't want to expect to be showering next to a woman who I'm attracted to or who's attracted to me. So, I mean, now does that make this guy guilty of some kind of homophobic thing in the eyes of the law? Does he have a right to feel that way?
Well, not just the law. They're only concerned about what management is going to do. So if an employee goes to the manager or the coach and says, I don't want to shower with this person because I feel as if he's attracted to me, then management is going to have to take a stand and either say, well, listen, that is a problem that you have, and you're going to have to abide by.
Why? What if he says, I feel uncomfortable? I feel modest. I feel like I would in front of a woman. The guy. Look, these players have probably showered in front of gay guys their whole lives, but they didn't know it. The guy didn't make. Nobody had made a point to say I'm gay and I'm showering with you. I mean, can't you understand? I mean, I don't want to. I want to leave you out of it, but I mean, can't the law or management understand? Just like in the military, there are going to be people who all of a sudden, if someone makes it a point. A man who works with men and showers with men and rooms with men is making it a point to let the world know I'm attracted to men. That don't these men have a right to feel uncomfortable?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily. They don't have a right under the law to feel uncomfortable.
They don't.
And it's unfair. No, they don't. And it's unfair to presume that just because someone is homosexual or even heterosexual, like I'm not going to presume you're attracted to me just because I'm a female.
But I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be allowed in any forum to shower with you in any place of employment or any gym that we belong to or anything else.
And that's true, but nonetheless, you're presuming that because he's gay, that he's attracted to every.
No, I'm presuming he's attracted to none of them. But the men are now put in a position where they have to now they're not allowed under the law, according to what you just said, to feel naturally uncomfortable if they want to, or funny, or different, or like this isn't right. I mean, why should it be? Why should they be made the bad guys in the eyes of the law?
Well, no one's made the bad guys, and of course the law isn't saying you can't feel a certain way, but the law is saying employers cannot discriminate or treat people differently because of their race, their sex, and in some states, their sexual orientation.
Even in a situation where the employees shower together and in some places sleep together in the hotel rooms?
Even in the situation of that nature, unless, of course, one of the players actively tries to hit on or harass another teammate, then it's definitely the responsibility of management to step in and do something. But just because someone feels uncomfortable, that's not going to be enough for management to separate and isolate individuals who have expressed an open homosexuality.
So if 5 players on a team go to management and say, I don't want to shower with this guy, and management says, okay, then here's a key to another stall or a key to another room, go shower there. If that gay player wanted to, I doubt that he would, but if he wanted to, he could make an issue of that, and management could be held accountable under the law?
He can make an issue of that, and management does need to address it. Now, if management ignores it, and then, again, other things come up, because an isolated incident may not be enough to put you in a position of discrimination, but if other things come up, they start treating him differently, they don't pass him the ball, or they don't
pass him the ball. So theoretically, a player could sue because he could claim that he's not getting the ball passed to him because he's gay. Do you see how sick this all is?
And again, it's a combination. It is they're not going to shower with me. Added to the fact that they're not passing me the ball anymore. Added to the fact that they're no longer treating me as part of the team. I mean, if you have enough factors, it can be a potential claim. And again, we're dealing in a society where we're trying to be more accepting of a homosexual lifestyle. So
Has nothing to do with being accepted in a homosexual lifestyle. It's just that I just don't see how it's not supposed to bother anybody, and I don't mean all, but I mean it's under the law. It's supposed to bother none of these players who are now either for religious reasons, modesty reasons, whatever the reason, they now feel they're not going to discriminate. They're going to hang with this guy. They're going to pass him the ball. They're going to play with him. But they feel funny showering with the guy and walking around naked now. And that now they're put on the defensive. I think that is a screwed up system.
Well, it's unfortunate that's the way it is. And again, if you do, that player can also say, you know what, I'm going to shower by myself. And then, therefore, everyone else can continue to shower. But I'm going to, because I'm uncomfortable, I'm going to shower by myself and not with the rest of the team. And that's definitely within his prerogative to do.
Right.
Again, just because, you know, the management is going to isolate the homosexual player doesn't mean that
he can't isolate himself. Yeah. All right, listen, Sonya, I don't mean to be taking this out on you. I know you're just telling me the law, but so I appreciate that. I hope you don't feel like I'm jumping on you. But
oh no, I've enjoyed it.
Okay, but listen to me. I'm telling you. I don't know if you've seen Jackie Robinson the movie. My first. Okay, and you know, I mean, there's no way. Don't fall into the trap. There's no way this guy's Jackie Robinson. No, you know, again, I'm white, but if I were black, I'd be doubly, triply, quadruply outraged because I just don't see it. It's like when Rosie O'Donnell once referred to herself kind of as Rosa Parks several years ago. I just couldn't believe that. You know, what did Rosa Parks have? Nothing, and she did what she did. Rosie O'Donnell has, you know, all the amenities and privileges and everything that she could ever ask for, except maybe at that point she couldn't marry, whatever. That's hardly Rosa Parks. So anyway, I thank you for coming on, Sonya. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye. Sonya Madison, ladies and gentlemen, workplace attorney in Atlanta.